San Antonio X-Factor, a team that has the reputation of being able to win on any given day, but always figures out a way to lose it in the end.
Hey, give me a little BKS! 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 X-Factor!
Go, boys!
They call themselves BKIT, which stands for the Best Kids in Texas. But they didn't live up to this name in 2011, not making out of the prelims in any event and having one of their worst years. Not having won a pro tournament since Chicago of 2007, this family of brothers is getting sick of this reputation that follows them and are ready to put an end to it.
Hey, let's go, man! This is not over!
Step the fuck up or go the fuck home.
They came up to us, we lend out our hand. They spit in your face, this is your promised land. Hey, where did survival go? We saw them pack up their bags and watch the harder body go. We're all dead men here after all. We're all dead men, we're all dead. We're all dead men here after all. Got time to kill, got time to spare. We're all dead men here after all. We're all dead men here after all. Always here to lend a dying hand.
In the off season, we kind of had this like really hard look at the team, and it was like, well, you know, what are we going to do? Like Dusty and Devin were doing their business, and we knew we wanted to practice harder and more, but we knew they weren't going to be able to make them all. So we made a decision to say, you know what, we just didn't bring them back. And so we decided to pick up Billy. That was my idea, because I played with him on Dynasty, and I thought he played really well. That seemed like the player we needed on our team from 2011 to 2012. Galveston, we had won both our games on Friday, so we're feeling good. And we go in, we have a close match against Dynasty, lose it, and then we play Thunder, and you know, probably 99 times out of 10 we're going to beat the shit out of them, but we got a bunch of penalties and just really sloppy game for us, and we ended up losing and just ended up taking the short drive back home. Into the top four, we're playing Heat. We're up 5-4 with like 47 seconds or something, just not very long. We break out, and Colt's loader was down off the break.
Everyone else is just doing their jobs, we're 5 alive, and Heat is just coming down the snake side. And Colt was the one gun that was really supposed to hold that down. Monville runs through, I mean, just amazing play, you know, bunkers, couple guys, Fedorov, like an Air Moscows, with like 7 seconds left to hang the flag.
That overtime point, we shot 2 of them early, and I think it was 1 on each side, and they shot 1 of us on the snake side. So basically it was a 3-on-2, because we had 3 guys on the Dorito side, they had 2. But for our attacker, that means we can have a second attacker.
You're tired, you've been playing on the Heat, like I didn't hear the G2, otherwise I would have been on my horse. Like I thought we were 4 up, even bodies. And I think it was Mishka just made a really good move. He bumped 1 more down the Dorito because Colt was looking the other way. But yeah, it's one of those things. I could have just put him in, ran down, stuck him, and then that game's ours to win.
They shot a couple of us, and Chad is like shooting across field or something. And I come over the top of the corner bunker, and I shoot him right in his foot, clear as day. Everybody on the sidelines just goes ballistic. Obviously, I'm going ballistic too. The ref is literally just looking across the field pointing. I'm screaming at him, and it's like, man, that could have completely changed the game. And it ended up being a 3-on-1, and oddly enough, Chad ends up shooting me. It was like salt on the wound, you know?
Y'all knew the count. We're G2, guys. Get on your fucking horse.
I didn't know that.
I was saying it, Grayson. Said G2. I'm screaming it at you, dude.
We were in the pit. You had an inside move all day, dude.
I am screaming it at you, Grayson.
We didn't take advantage of the situation, you know, bottom line. And yeah, I mean, I even got after Grayson pretty hard after that match. You know, I felt bad afterwards, but we gave them that match, you know. Bottom line, the last 2 points we gave them.
So we're at the 2012, Chicago PSP, and our final prelim game is against Ironmen. Whoever won that match was going to get to play on Sunday. End up going into an overtime point. As soon as LJ basically slid in, I came out, took a snapshot, put Rainey in, and I'm like, well, here's my chance. It's either now or never. and I take off, I stick LJ clean, and then I go and stick Rainey, and then pull up and shoot Paxton. And all of a sudden I see a red flag go, and I'm thinking, you know, that's perfect, because Rainey actually ended up spinning on me.
I see the red flag come up, and I'm just like, boom, we win, it's over. You know, and so yeah, I remember celebrating, and then it took a long time to figure out what exactly happened. It was like a huge coming down to reality moment.
After looking at the tape, I sure enough, I end up sticking LJ clean, and as soon as I clear his bunker, somehow Paxton just puts one on my leg. I didn't even feel it, and you know, the referee made a great call, and that was just like, I'm thinking I'm Superman right now, and then realizing that really I just lost the match for us by getting a penalty. It's just like, that's a terrible feeling. You know, it's from being so excited to just so crushed.
We squeaked into the next round, and we played Ironmen, and then the last point, it looks like they're winning, and Brandon Short, he gets a major penalty with like 30 seconds or something, and that obviously that ends the match.
Semifinals after we beat Ironman against Infamous, and the very first point, I think we're up on bodies, looking strong, and Michael gets a major for a barrel hit, and I think the same point we get him out, it's another major. I think at that second major, we had lost the match. It's so taxing going through a tournament and fighting, and then getting in that penalty box. It's hard to pull yourself out of there.
We were throwing around the idea of what we want to do for Cup. Like, man, it'd be nice if we could get one more solid guy. But we only had one roster spot, so we decided to opt out from Jesse playing. We said, you know what, let's bring Dusty back. That's what we're going to do. We're going to do it, you know. So he had to play in the PSP player jersey because we didn't have his jersey made in time. First match was CP, and it started off pretty close, mainly because we got some penalties.
Mike got a major. He gets out of the box. Apparently I overshoot somebody, and I get a major. Robbie, sorry.
That's not a major.
When Grayson was in the box, I think we like won 2 or 3 points while he was in there. I mean, we like blew him off the field, and then pretty much the rest of the match was just us just dominating him, from, you know, shooting him off the break to just, you know, running him down. I mean, that was a very easy game despite the start, but you know, we started in the box, so 4 and 5 is never fun. The penalty box is a huge factor in matches for us. If we stay out of the box, our percentage to win the match is way higher.
After our CEP game, we had a team meeting, and we knew we couldn't make the same mistakes and get the same penalties against Dynasty, because Dynasty is one of those teams where if you get down, they're going to take advantage of it. And we knew it was going to be a battle, so we had to fight every point as if it was going to be the last.
It was just back and forth, point for point, you know, real tight match, and every point was a grinder. Then they won like 2 really long points back to back, so they took a 2-point lead on us. I think it was like 4-2.
They started to pull away, and we kind of just sat there, and we knew that this is the match we had to win to move on. You know, even that early in the event, like, this is the important match for us. You know, it's 4-2, and I just told them, like, hey, just need 1 point. Let's get this next point, and we'll go from there.
It's a long, drawn-out point. It was me and the Snake against Alex and Dalton. I kept battling with Alex for a little bit, and I ended up getting a shot on him. And if I take out Dalton, I felt like it was going to be game over. So I figured out when it was the right time to make my move, made my move, took Dalton out, and Grayson did exactly what he was supposed to do. He filled the Snake, had the whole Snake to himself.
Starting to rain a little bit, and I ended up making up to the 50 Dorito and tried to start battling a little too crazy, and Ryan made a great snapshot on me. Probably should have just waited and been patient, but I was trying to win a point, make it something quick and get some momentum going.
We knew the weather was going to get bad, and I think it just started to rain. I was able to get in the snake, and Archie was all alone on the Dorito side.
It was just me on the D side against Ryan and Glenn. And I shoot Glenn out of the corner, and Ryan comes down to try to bunker me. At practice, whenever we would shoot each other, we were just saying later baby for some reason. And out of like habit of doing that at practice, Ryan comes to bunker me and I shoot him. And I say later baby. So we win that close point, you know, we pull that one out, a point we're not supposed to win. And that pulls us within one, and then this rain system comes in, and after that it was like, boom, momentum shift.
Find XFACTOR, let's go!
That point changed the outcome of the match, you know what I mean? You could tell it, like, we got up and they got down, and from that, like, we didn't let up at that point.
We're able to take that game and turn it around, and you know, at that point Dynasty really had to come and try and put it on us to get that tie point. We ended up chopping them up, and there was enough time, so you know, I told Dusty, you know, run it in.
Run it, Dusty, run!
Margin can be everything. You know, you don't ever want to not get a point that you can possibly score, and I just knew that if we had a chance to score that point, we needed to.
That's what I'm talking about, boy. Later, baby!
That was a big turning point at World Cup right there. We realized, like, all right, we can do this. Like, we can, you know, we have the potential to win this event. If we can beat a team like Dynasty where we're down 2 points, it starts raining, we can win those big swing points. We have a chance to win this and beat some really good teams.
We came together as a team, and when we were getting out of it in the pit, we controlled it. Okay, that's all it is. We're the fucking best team here. Yeah. We're staying focused on the field and off the field. We have to fucking stay focused. Hey, shock ain't gonna be easy. Hey,
The match was pretty close, and most of the points were close, and there was even like one of the points in the middle of the match, Mike just got fucked up.
This Aftershock kid runs down, just puts him like, just lines up his back, like from his ass to his back. And yeah, Mike stands up and it's the mic. He's like, yeah, come on, boy. Like, I'll put you in my black book.
I've seen Mike hot plenty of times, but I don't know that I've seen him like that before. And you know, that kind of, like, to me, that doesn't like spark any fire for me, but like for some of our guys, they see one of our guys take it like that and they're like, oh yeah, it's time now. So yeah, like pretty much the rest of the match are just shitting on him and specifically trying to shit on that kid.
Going into that Heat match, I think we were both 3-0. We hadn't played them since Phoenix, where it came down to that crazy 1 minute point and that overtime win. And it's one of those matches that we both are Texas teams. They're not really from Texas, so we always have that thing that we want to beat Heat more than anybody else.
I don't know who shot it, but
Tied 1-1 in the Heat game. Mishka gets a penalty. I ended up catching LJ slipping. We ended up taking a 2-1 lead, but the next point they ended up coming back and tying it with another long point.
They ended up tying the match, and that last point in regulation, it was just like nobody wanted to give up. Nobody wanted to make the mistake, and that happens a lot, you know. That last point ended up being a real long point, and nobody won the point.
3 on 3. Come on, Dusty. It's gonna go to time. All right, X, here we go, baby.
Let's go, X. You gotta dig deep. You gotta want it in the heart. It's the will. Let's go, boys.
We lost Dusty pretty early in that point. We shot Sam on the snake side. I ended up going up the D side pretty hard.
I think it was a 20-minute game where I was in nothing but a fetal position in the snake the whole time. So it was pretty much who was going to make the first move. And Sergey, I think it was in the corner preventing that move from happening. I finally kind of got him in and just went for it and took out Chad and picked my gun up to shoot at Sergey and bounced him in the shoulder. And then he had shot me.
Those long grinder points, like you just don't want to make a mistake, and so sometimes I'll change up what I'm doing as far as like coming out or peeking, and so I remember slapping the side of the bunker to where I don't have to actually come out, I can just slap it and still see what's going on.
Smacking their bunkers, doing God knows what, trying to give themselves an advantage, because at this point, shooting paint you can't do, so they're just trying to play with each other. They came down from the tower and let me know they were going to put more time on the clock, but it's not like I can tell my guys, so, you know, just kept ticking.
I get into the 50 snake, time's burning off. Colt was actually on the Dorito side and filled all the way around. You know, I'm like, man, can I run down this dude? And it's like, shit, I mean, I may have 5-10 balls. I don't even know how much I have at this point. I ended up just, pussing out. I should have just ran to try to get him down. But Fedorov, he caught me sleeping. You know, he was probably the same situation. He had like 1 or 2 balls to make it count, and he made it count.
Everybody's like out of paint, I'm out of air. So Fedorov got pretty close to me within a couple bunkers, and I was just like, well, if I'm gonna do anything at this point, I just gotta try to take him out. And I go to bunker him, and just nothing happens with my gun. I mean, it's like rolling out of the barrel.
Archie made a move up the Dorito side, and I was like, well, you know, now's the time while this commotion's going on, I gotta go stick Sergey out of the snake. You know, and I run down and I stick Sergey clean, and I guess either Archie's gun didn't have enough air to put paint on the Dorito guy, or something happened, but I ended up, you know, they came around the back side and shot me in the back after I stuck Sergey, so ended up with a loss.
We have him shot, we let him get out of the baby and the fucking boss.
Talk about it later.
We're being negative, we're fucking playing on Sunday, be positive.
You know, our guys came into the pit a little dejected, you know, kind of yelling at each other, a little pissed off, but, you know, I just had to quickly try to wrangle them up and say, hey, man, you know, we're playing tomorrow. There's no reason to be ripping each other's heads off.
That point at the end could have gone either way. Yes or no?
Yeah.
All right? It's a 3-on-3. Could have gone either fucking way. All right? So if we would have won it, we'd be on cloud 9. If we lost it, there's no reason we should be fucking heads in the dirt. Fire or not, it doesn't mean shit if we don't win the tournament. All right? We fucking took them all the way. All right? They took us all the way. So we'll see them again on the finals. And let's go fucking push people's shit in tomorrow. All right?
We got a long day tomorrow, guys. Feel the fucking energy and bring it tomorrow. Tomorrow's where it counts. That game meant nothing. Now let's focus and win World Cup. Let's go. Hey, let's go, X. Come on. Come on, boys.
Going into the Russians, I mean, they're another one of those teams where you know what you're expecting. It's going to be a fast game. They're going to shoot guys off the break, and you really just got to win those long points against them if you want to have an opportunity to win. So the first point was one of those long points. I'm in the snake, Berdnikov's in the snake. I think I had broke some paint in my loader when I dove in. So I pulled my swab out and did it as quick as I could, and as I'm pulling it out, you know, I hear his coach yelling something in Russian to him. So I'm trying to pull it out and come over the top to shoot him at the same time. And I just couldn't get a shot off in time, and he ended up getting me clean and winning that point.
They go up 2-0, and the third point of the match, we break out, and there's broken paint, something jammed up in my loader, my gun's just not feeding. And I'm doubled up in the back center with Grayson, and it's pretty tight. They got in the snake or something, he was relatively far, so for me, I'm just trying to get my gun up so that I can play. I just got shot right on the outside of my shoulder. And I remember just thinking, ooh, man, I was so hot right then. That's not the way you want a close match to go down, and we're already down 2-0, so obviously that's a critical point for us.
I think they shot our Dorito side out, and they were just in that first little Dorito, so I tried to get out to the corner. You know, I bit off more than I could chew. I get shot. Mike came all the way across the field, makes the same move I made. He just made it at the right time and didn't get caught.
It's do or die right here. You go down 3 points against any team, it's pretty hard to come back. It's a 2-on-4, I think, and I think Mike shot a guy. They sent one guy to come bunker me. I just, you know, one of my coaches yelled to me. I came over the top, perfect timing, shot him, came back down, and he couldn't get a shot off at me. So we made it 2-on-2, and immediately after that, I ended up getting a good shot on their other snake guy, and now, you know, from a 3-on-2, it's a 2-on-1 in our favor. I'm crawling down the snake, and I'm realizing I only got a couple balls left, so I'm hoping that Mike has paint to shoot this last guy. So I'm just really a distraction at this point, and I see him stuck in the Dorito. I yell to Mike, and, you know, Mike gets close enough to where he can just go trade out with him if need be, and that's exactly what he did. He just went and bunkered him.
Yeah, that's it. Hey, let's go. Hey, that's that drive we need. Let's go, boys.
Definitely a momentum swinger for sure. I mean, you could tell that When we won that point, they thought they had the match. You know, they thought when they win that point, it's done, it's over. So we win that point, changes the whole dynamic. We're down by 1 point now, and I end up getting in the snake, and Dixon's behind me. I end up kind of having a pretty good blind shot on Wheeler, take him out of the game. And then it was like a 2-on-3 or something like that, and Axel's in the snake with me, and Marcelo's on the Dorito side of the field. And this is what I was waiting for him to do. I wanted him to move up the Dorito side so that I could use the A to block out, because where he was, he could shoot at me. Literally, he makes his move, I like come check inside right at Axel, and I just jump over. And I'm just thinking, I'm just gonna trade with him, and at that point, like, I've done what I need to do, and we're gonna have plenty of time to play another point.
I see Archie clear out the snake side for me, and Mikel's over in the Dorito side. I see Mikel over there, and I'm like, all right, get past Marcelo, so he, get lost, so he concentrates on me, so Mikel can move in on him and take him out. And I was able to put some pressure on him, keep his gun on me, and Mikel was able to take him out. All right, we got 2 guns up off the break. Grayson and Archie. Mike and Colt are gonna dive across and cross up. Billy's gonna go all the way. If Billy's alive, we're gonna go push down their throats. If we lose Billy, let's fucking lock it down, okay?
Yeah. We had practiced this a couple times where I kind of run and shoot like a corner route, and then right before I get to the corner, I cut up and dive for the snake. It just so happened Berdnikov pick up that lane, and he shot me before I even had the opportunity to do that.
Billy gets smoked down by Berdnikov, so we're supposed to lock it down, and we'll go to overtime, and we'll beat him there.
Our coach told Mike, if Billy dies, do not fill after, like, just make it to the next spot. And Mike, he's got like 7 pods on his back, and I remember looking at him going like, what is he doing? Billy gets smoked, Mike tries to run to the snake, gets smoked, and I'm like, oh shit. So then I have to get wide because I'm in the back center. So the ref actually signaled me out. He thought I got shot before I got there, and I was like, I'm not hit. So the ref like runs in, checks me, calls me clean, and the point kind of goes back and forth.
It's like watching a freaking soap opera, man. It's just an emotional roller coaster. Right off the bat, our plan that we made was shot.
The Russians kind of smelled blood with not a lot of time left. They started coming down. Colt just kind of gets some good shots across field, and he takes out on the snake side, just one after another.
That's another one. Oh, that's another one.
All right, somebody's shooting dudes. I know there's one dude left, like, I need to go get this guy. And like, he's shooting the side of the bunker that I was running up to, so I like duck. Colt puts him in at the perfect moment.
At some point I was like, well shit, there's like 7 seconds, I'm just gonna run at it. And if the guy shoots me, whatever, I try. As I'm getting to the flag, Grayson's like about to step on this guy's neck.
Yeah, boys, let's go!
One of the craziest, most memorable matches I'll probably ever play. We can go up on a team and beat the crap out of them, but like coming from behind in matches has been a struggle for the team, and certainly like doing that twice in the same tournament, and certainly in the way it happened against the Russians, it's just like, wow, like if you don't have the belief now, like, you must be stupid.
We definitely felt like we had some momentum going into the damage game. We felt hot. They had a bye, so they hadn't been playing all morning.
Hey, stand up right now. Come on, boys. Woo, woo. Give me a little BK out. BK out. BK out.
In that damage match, we were down 0-1. I saw an opportunity to get Justin to me. It was just him over there. It was only Dave kind of holding me back. I was able to put some pain. Saw an opportunity to run down Justin, and he kind of did his little magic and try to hide from me, but I was able to get a ball or 2 on him and sacrifice myself to help the guys close the game. Then everyone else was able to get a piece of Baines and take that point from him.
So, third point against damage. I think I'm super low on paint. Archie's running out of air. I see a pod in his back, and I'm like, yo, dude, throw me your pod. What I've realized is that when we have stupid pods, we win games. Because he makes that throw, and because it wasn't some stupid-ass color, botched throw. I needed a pink pod. They shot me. Archie had no air left.
He's kind of giving me the throw cut. Jason had kind of over-sinted into our Doritos, so I didn't blow the horn right away. I was hoping that Dixon might have been able to get a shot across the field from the snake onto him, but we didn't get that shot in on the Jason, so I wound up having to blow it because there's just so much time was already winding off the clock.
Hey, it's a one-point fucking game. Hey, come on, Archie. Come on, let's go.
They're one of the worst teams to go down on. They're great at shooting off break. They're great at holding zones. So we go out there and I guess just keep running into their guns. They're chopping us off on break, and we're just have to keep conceding the points because we know that against damage they're really good at getting those long grinding games in there, those long points.
Damn it.
Us doing as well as we did beat the Russians, to be totally honest with you, I think it was a reflection of the year where they felt content. Did we go out to go beat damage? Sure, the attitude was there to go beat them, but deep in their heart, I think they were just content.
I'm just out there trying to win some points and get some respect back, and I ended up getting a penalty. And once I came out of the box, it was a one-on-one with me and Dave Baines, and at this point where you just wanted to win it for some pride and get some respect back.
Even though we're going to try to score points, we kind of know it's out of hand, so we were already a little bit down because we knew we weren't going to win the match, but ultimately it was still a great tournament for us. We did a lot of things we hadn't done in a while. We came back from 2 matches against 2 great teams. The team came together a lot, Billy was finally starting to come into his own on our team. And so even though we didn't make it to the finals or win the tournament, there was a lot of pluses to be had from that weekend.
5 tournaments, we made the semifinals in 3. Think about that. It's compared to last year where we missed the cut every fucking time. So going into next year, we just need to get better. And we can. We have the people here. Stick together as a family, we work. Let's not disappear during the off-season, go do our own shit. Let's work a little bit in the off-season.
When Ryan's like, well, fuck, I need to win this point. Be one of those 5 guys that he can count on, where he fucking has to make really hard decisions on who to play.
Okay. Anything to say, Alex?
Hey, while we got everybody here.
Everyone was just like, oh, what the fuck is this?
Kind of wanted to break their balls and see Alex get a little nervous.
Just want to tell you guys, it's been a pleasure playing with you guys all year. And I'll be back next year. Yeah.
Dude, I was so stoked when Billy said he was playing. I was scared. I was about to buy him a bunch of Dunkin' Donuts to keep him stay.
Fucking right there, man.
All right, guys, great year. Hey, I'm proud of each and every one of you. Okay, boys? Love you.
Love you too, guys.
All right, family on 3?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. Family!
And Billy, you had me guessing right there.
Avalanche! I was like, what? I'm gonna knock him out.
Yeah, I saw Alex reaching for his knife. He's got one.
At the beginning of 2013, Mike was moving to Belgium. He had an opportunity to continue to play paintball, be surrounded by paintball, and do something with his life more so than what was available in San Antonio. For me, I was like, dude, do it. No hard feelings. Go out there, have fun. If you decide to ever come back, we'll take you back.
He's like a little brother to me, so seeing him leave is like watching my brother go across the country, but I want the best for him as well too. So if he felt like that was the move to make, I supported him.
It was definitely a bummer to see him go, but ultimately I was happy for my friend. The second part of that is well, shit, we got to try to replace him. And I felt like Mike had a really good year in 2012. He was definitely had a bunch of penalties, and we definitely felt that wrath, but he also stepped up big in several games, and several tournaments for us.
At that point, we knew that we needed another dynamic front snake player. So we brought Wake in, a very, very good player, but we knew that controlling his penalties was kind of going to be the key to success for Zach.
We ended up picking up Dimitri Ninios from Texas Storm, and we had all kind of seen him play, and he really had a lot going for him, and we thought he'd fit in well with the team. We ended up picking Scott Kemp as well from Cali, and he's been like a good friend to a lot of the guys for a long time. We knew he didn't really have a home, and just a great dude to have around. He's just a good guy.
In addition to all the roster changes, the team also brings in former Tampa Bay damage coach Paul Richards.
We've had Ryan for a few years. He's done really well for us. He's a really smart coach, but we're almost looking at it like Ryan knows all the players. Maybe he has some preferences and likes certain guys more or whatever, but he's just used to us. It was like, hey, let's get a fresh set of eyes and see what input he has. That's ultimately like why we made the decision. Also, we don't want Paul going and coaching another team because he's a super smart dude.
He's a guy that can break down a field and explain things to you in an intellectual way that just makes sense, more so than I've heard anyone else talk. So it was great to have him, but we're both at the same time used to coaching our own team, of running our own program. So it was kind of a balance of, how we're going to make this thing work.
So we come out, first games, it gets excessive, the team's been around a long time, but we went out there and beat them pretty handily. Then we go out into the second game and play CEP. Again, the mindset's basically the same. We just had always pounded them. It starts off a little rocky. We start losing some points or shooting a ton of people on break, and it's just kind of like, I guess it didn't really set in that we're getting our asses kicked by CEP until it started getting to like 3-1, 4-1. And then it's like, wow, this is really happening.
Every point we lost a guy or two guys off the break, and so it's like, Jesus, there was nothing you could do. At one point, Oswaldo runs to the snake, he's running and shooting, I'm shooting at him, and he shoots me in the goggles and makes it. It's just like, that's kind of the story of that game. We just couldn't do anything.
They just shot so many of us off the break, dude. You can shut the fuck up, man. That's not gonna help.
And then we got to go in and play Dynasty. So now we're 1-1. We should be 2-0 because those are the two teams we had to win. We go out and play Dynasty, and I think we were a little bit still shell-shocked by the CEP loss. And again, same story. Dynasty shot a lot of us on break and just outplayed us and put a beat down on us as well. And so now we're sitting 1-2 going in to play Heat.
We're starting over fresh, all right? Dallas, that's done. Now we're trying to play to qualify for MAO. That's 100% what's going on. So kick that shit out of your head. If you guys want to play pro at MAO, we have to start winning games now. We're fucking playing for our lives now. So you consider yourself a professional athlete, you need to put 100% into these next couple games. I'm talking to y'all, no one's fucking looking at me, I'm seeing you fire. Fucking put that shit away, let's fucking play.
We needed to show that, we are, a team to play out here. These guys are the reigning world champions. They beat us every time we played them. We can beat these guys.
How many times have you played them? Twice? How many times have you gotten to overtime? Step their own dicks? Twice. We clearly beat these motherfuckers. I've never felt like a game is more important in my life. This is more important to me than a fucking finals game.
We know we're playing for relegation. Are we going to get the bye into the relegation or not, playing against Heat? We have the players, we have the talent to beat good teams. And for us, it was just a statement for us. Everyone knows we're playing for relegation, like CEP's moving on, but we can still beat good teams.
We won a bunch of points in a row. I think we were up like 3 points or 4 points. And then Meter got like one of the dumbest penalties I've ever seen. He gets shot like right in his front grip. I was walking off the field and I saw him get shot. I'm like, what the hell is he doing, And the ref like runs around from the snake side all the way inside of it, sees the big hit. Of course he's getting a red flag. That obviously like turns the momentum for them.
Once I got the penalty, I really felt like I let the team down. They looked to me to make good decisions on the field, and I let them back in the match.
We're feeling the momentum going, oh yeah, we got this, and getting that penalty, like the wind got taken out of our sails.
Guys, we gotta play better than that. Hey, stay positive. Archie, get ready. All right, our first 5.
Hey, that doesn't matter. That point's done. Let's get back out there and do what we need to do to win this match. And improving and not giving up is a virtue that I love about this team.
We won the last point, and you know, it wasn't anything special, but we shot a couple guys early and closed it out. And for the first time, we beat Heat in a real close match, even though we should have ran away with it. But yeah, that was definitely like, all right, we got that monkey off our back.
For the new guys, we historically do not win matches when we're in the box. Right. It's happened before, but it's few and far between. Stay out of the box, play a smart, controlled game, very similar to what we did when we were 5-on-5 in that match, and we will win tournaments, not matches.
Got it. Hey, keep it up. Keep this momentum up. Hey, we're gonna have to fight for our fucking lives on Sunday. This didn't mean shit, except prove to us and everyone else that we can do it.
This is a do or die match for us. If we don't win this game, we're not playing in the real pro division. And so like for us, everything's at stake here. So we kind of start the match off, it's kind of close, and then there's one point, they're up bodies on us. Some guy tries to come bunker me. He was like coming on the inside, so I shot him, and he kept coming at me. So I like tried to run around the bunker, and like I still kept shooting at him. And the refs gave him a major penalty, and it was a 2-on-1 at that point. So it's like, boom, he gets a penalty, his other guy gets pulled, I run the flag in, and now they're in the box. That completely changed the match. I mean, after that, they got another penalty, they're playing 3-on-5, and we're just blowing them up at that point.
Hey boys! Thank God. We went to the clinic. Yeah. We passed. Hey, wait a second! HIV negative. Hey, wait a second!
The way I looked at Dallas, it just wasn't working. It didn't work. And for the second event, what I did is I gave Paul a shot to call some plays, where it was Ryan to begin with.
Complete new role for me, trying to sit there and just kind of help Paul out. And just came out to the same result of just, you know, a 2-2, losing matches that we know we could have won. It just wasn't there yet, you know, it's still kind of uncomfortable, new players, new coaching. I don't know, it's kind of just a shitty tournament, the way I look at it.
It's really kind of crappy. Like, we didn't have to play a relegation match, but like if we had won one more point, we would have made the top 4. And had we lost one more point, we would have been in a relegation match. We all started to realize like how difficult and close every tournament's gonna be. You know, the separation between the top 4 and even the relegation matches.
Chicago, we switched up the recipe again to me coaching. You know, we're finally, you know, beating the good, pants off the good teams early on.
Dynasty, back-to-back champions in both events. So we knew it wasn't going to be an easy game, but we were glad we drew them first and maybe could catch them off guard and surprise them with some quick plays, and that's exactly what we did. We took a 3-0 lead on them and kind of got comfortable and, you know, lost a point, got a penalty, lost another point, got another penalty.
God damn it! Fucking kidding me! Hey, we're beating the shit out of them! We go out? Hey, let's go the fuck up! We go out?
We couldn't win a single point, and we were giving away tons of points on these majors and just let these teams come back. You give them something like that, they're going to take advantage of it. And we were just like, all right, we're cool, 4-0. All of a sudden, it's like, oh shit, the game's tied. We don't have time to get our heads back in the game, and they end up winning.
Next game starts out exactly the same against Infamous. This time it's 4-0, and same thing happened. Penalties, you know, we burn one penalty off and get another penalty right after that. And, you know, it's not easy playing against these teams, you know, 4-on-5, 3-on-5, so it just wasn't exactly what we were looking for.
The next day we play Vicious. They beat us. I don't remember if we were in the box or not. It was a close game, but you know, they had us. And then we play Ironman. Again, we're in the box the whole time. And not just the guys that are usually in the box, but like Grayson's getting penalties, Dixon's getting penalties. Just like, man, what is up, you know?
I don't remember going 0-4 maybe ever, and that's just like a terrible, terrible feeling. And so now, here we are again, relegation match, and now it's against the Tauntauns.
There's nothing better than sending the Frenchies home, you know, so a lot of pride at stake, obviously just for us, but anytime you can shit on them, it's like a plus, you know, so at the end of the day, we came out on top.
Going into Riverside, we let Zach go. Just the penalty stuff wasn't working out for us, and we thought that we had to distance ourselves from that.
Gather your brothers in arms and ride! Ride for truth! Ride for glory! And most of all, you ride! God damn it, you ride! For victory! Let's go, boys! Let's go!
Dave's the man. He's so awesome. He used to play on the team. We decided to bring him on at the Riverside tournament to sideline coach for us. He's got a really loud, deep voice. He understands the game. It was a no-brainer to bring him on, and yeah, like he's super great in the pit and like in the huddle stuff because he just gets everybody amped.
Archie, we got Kid Arch making money over there. You know what he's doing. And La Cafeteria, the carpenter.
Archie, you're trailing to the corner, gun up.
We switched to formula again. Paul gets the clipboard for the first 2 matches. We're playing damage. You know, Paul's got a lot of insight. He's coached those guys for years. Zach's gone, so we think the penalties are gone, right? I think Dimitri thought that he wanted to like emulate his boy Zach or whatever. So Dimitri starts getting all the wake penalties, and we just get blown off the field.
We got a major.
No, what?
Yeah.
Did they make it the ball? We got one?
Yeah, I got one, Archie.
They got a penalty.
I did. We got one. I got one. As you were running, they were pulling it.
Man, to be honest, it really sucks because this year I have been plagued with penalties. Like before that, never really got that many. We had a battle for who could get the most, and I took that easily.
It was still the same thing. Like we were getting penalties, we weren't winning points, we were just trying to burn the clock off. We weren't trying to take advantage of those situations and really take the momentum back on our side. And it ended up getting a shit beat out of us by 2 really good teams.
So the impact game, I got 2 majors. The scariest thing was no one said anything to me.
After we're down 0-2, we pretty much know that we're not going to make it to Sunday. We're playing to not play relegation. So me and Paul sat down, we discussed again what we want to do. This is where I think we really figured it out. The play calling, line calling came back to me, and Paul was going to take a role of giving me the best information he had when he saw it.
Backs are against the wall, you know. At this point, we're like, hey man, we do not want to play another relegation match. We're better than this, you know?
So we go into Saturday and we have Top Gun first, and you know I think this is their first chance at the Champions League, and you know they got some good players on the team, but that's a team that we should beat.
Alex got penalty for talking actually after he was hit or something like that. Scott gets a penalty, and it ends up just being me on the snake side, but I didn't even know it. And I shoot the snake guy out. This other guy's running at me, straight at me. I make a move on him. I just run down the snake tape while he's like diving. And so then it's a 2-on-1, and you know it's just one of those things like a cross-field shot. I hit this guy in the loader, and then at that point like it's a 1-on-1, and I'm thinking there's no way this guy can even look at me without getting shot. And sure as shit he looks at me and I shoot him.
There we go, XFACTOR. Good job. All right, loving each and every one of y'all. Hey, it's a fight. It's like when you get jumped, when you fight one dude and his buddy jumps in and hits you in the side, you get your ass up and keep fighting. You got my back, and I believe in that. All right, guys, let's go. Let's fight.
We go into Infamous, starting lineup, Grayson, Archie, Colt, Meter, and I'm in the pit like, and they're like, get out there. I'm like, all right. I'm grateful they gave me the opportunity because I knew I could play well, especially on that layout. And, you know, sure enough, against the Infamous game, I went off. The best thing about it was everyone believed in me coming back from that horrible day. With no majors, so it all played out.
Me and Paul finally were on the same page. Scott Kemp, that's his breakout event this year. I really saw Scott turning into that player that I knew he could be and we wanted him to be all year. So we wound up beating Infamous. And this was huge too, because if we get relegated at West Coast, we're not playing World Cup. And that's the main goal, to win World Cup.
We actually fly in early and end up practicing the Ironman. And we were beating the Ironman, I mean, consistently. They just really didn't have an answer for us in practice. And it was just going well. We were clicking and everybody felt good.
Game on, game. Hey. Sorry, man. You all right? Sorry, Al. I saw you come out and you came over the top.
one reason or another, we were handling them pretty well. Ironman, they were kind of having some blow-ups on each other. Practice was kind of getting away from them. Beating anybody in practice isn't really going to tell you what's going to happen in the event, but I could kind of see that our guys were really getting a better understanding for the field.
So the weekend before Cup, the dumbest thing, last play of the day, diving in the snake, break my hand, now I'm gonna cast. The next day, my parents came through with a Dremel. We Dremeled the whole thing off, and you know, we looked at my hand, we're like, it's questionable, but we're like, whatever, we'll go for it.
Against Damage, we kind of have a chip on our shoulder against them because they typically beat us more times than we beat them. We have to come out hot. We have to come out swinging. And we did, and they were sleeping on us big time. And for us, it was a big statement game. We kind of showed like, hey, we're here to play this tournament.
Again, we're just clicking. Everything's working. They didn't really have an answer for anything we were doing.
It's not that we like dislike those guys or anything like that, but I enjoyed kicking the shit out of them. Probably because we've been on the receiving end so many times, and we really just handled them. And I think the only point we lost is a point we threw away, probably because we were just so excited to be beating them so bad.
I'd sit back and I could see it being organized, getting there, the team's getting better, the coaching's getting better, and it was just a long process. But little at a time, little at a time, little time, it just got to the point where we go to the last event, World Cup, and everything fell into place.
The most fucking teamwork I've ever felt from this team all season long.
Hey guys, again, 0-0, we haven't done shit.
Hey,
focus on 3, all right? Hey, nobody disappear, all right? Stay right here.
Focus.
All right, 1, 2, 3,
Focus!
Second match against Impact, who's another strong team. I think we went in a little bit confident. We started off solid and things just fell apart. I was running down the snake. I dove and took one in the head, and you know, I turned to the ref and was like, that break, and he threw a red flag.
Here, boys. Right back. Let's tie it up right here, boys. Sweep it from underneath that right now. Yeah. They got a smile on their face.
We kind of had a rule this event where we were going to still fight when we have penalties and expect to win points rather than try to burn them off. It didn't really work out that match, but that was our mentality for the whole event. Impact was on a roll that match, and you know, they kept it up.
They just dominated us. They shot the living shit out of us off the break. It just wasn't even a game. It really wasn't.
All the other events, I can honestly say that you can see the mentality of people getting down on themselves and on the team when we lose matches, especially when they're a big point spread like that. But nobody lost confidence. Everyone felt good still. We felt like, hey, we let that one slip away, but we got this.
We knew our first day was going to be our hard day, and then the next day was going to be a little bit easier, but there's no real easy team anymore in these divisions. And you know, we go in against Shock and they played us better than we were expecting.
So we were down 0-2 against Shock, which honestly is like a place we didn't expect ourselves to be. The point breaks down, I end up catching the Velez kid slipping down the snake, and then it ends up being me and Sos in a one-on-one. He was in the left side of the X. I shot at him, he just ducked because he had no idea where I was. So immediately I basically run right around the X, plug him like right in the pack. He just spins, does a little spin and shoots me, and of course I'm like screaming at the refs like, flag, flag. But yeah, they called it right. They gave him a major, gave us the point. I think that was a big swing.
Yes! There you go, Grace!
I ran that wide route up to the tower, and I get shot in the back of the head, and I'm pretty sure it was Archie.
I vaguely remember that.
And it was in the back of my head, so I'm pretty sure it was him.
I don't think I did, but just to make matters better, I decided to just shoot everybody else. You know, I ran down the snake side, shot Chris coming out of the box, shot a couple guys on the Derder side of the field, put the point away.
He redeemed himself and came out and won the point, so I guess I'll forgive him this one time.
We're up 5-3
up 5-4, and I'm seeing Archie as the last guy on the field. I mean, I got all the confidence in the world in all my teammates, but it's definitely nice to have Archie as our ace in the hole. He's gonna make him come and get it.
Guys, we're good, team.
Yeah. It's a W. It's a W. Awesome.
We know if we lose this match, it puts it into one of those like, well, if this guy beats them and they beat them scenarios that nobody wants to be in. So we go out there first point, and I ended up getting down those Doritos quick, and I was able to stick AJ pretty nicely and shoot Drew on the run as well. So it was a big momentum going out there and just punch them in the mouth right away, kind of getting their head a little bit.
We go up a 2-0 lead. We know a lead's not safe at this point, especially after Chicago. We're up 4-on-2. At this point, I'm looking down at my clipboard. I'm drawing up the next play. I'm not even paying attention.
Coach was yelling out for a little help. I didn't really check everything off. I just kind of said, okay, let me get over, and it was a mistake on my part.
I see Damien, and he's over in that snake temple, and he's got his crazy shot that he has, and I see his whole body, and I'm like, oh man, I can win this battle, and he ends up shooting me, and I don't trade with him.
Damien ends up shooting Colt, and I come out and snap Brandon at the same time, so it becomes a one-on-one immediately.
Come on, Dixon. Come on, Dixon, baby. You got this. You got it, Dixon.
Damien's in a bunker where he can stand up and shoot on all 3 sides of his bunkers. I'm in a snake race bunker. And then he started moving up on me, and I'm like, well, it's either now or never. I need to maybe catch him off guard. And I could have swore I shot him running out, so I thought it was a trade. And then, the refs check him, and he doesn't have anything on it. That's a huge momentum boost for them, and as well as a demoralizing point for us.
It's a tie ball game now. It's 3-3, and it was one of those points like, this is probably going to be the last point of the match, but we weren't quite sure. We get out there. Brad gets in the snake pretty early and puts quite a bit of pressure on us, and then Bobby made a really dynamic move down the Doritos and put us in a spot where Ryan ended up blowing the horn and to give us one last shot to tie it up with 45 seconds left.
Next thing we're doing, we're just praying to God and wishing the stars for them to line up, trying to get into the semis, and Damage stepped up for us and beat Impact. And I had a few prayers there, I'll be honest with you, and I was like, wow, the stars aligned.
Don't think you accomplished anything. We've done this before. We've been here. We were here last year. It doesn't mean shit. Alright? Let's fucking go, win this game, and we'll fucking go win another. Alright, obviously it's heat. We beat these guys just as much as they beat us. The way we're playing right now, we're great, man. We're just gonna clean it up a little bit. Paul, you got anything to say?
As long as we're here, we're as good as anybody else. It's 4 teams, guys who want it the most, who fight the hardest for it, who don't give up. That's the team that walks away with the trophy. You just gotta put your trust in your teammates' hands and go out there and take it. And I guarantee you right now that you can do it. Nobody in this room should think somewhere in the back of their head, maybe we're not good enough. Maybe those guys really are better. They're not. You've been at this a long time. You deserve this opportunity. You earned this shot. Let's go have a good time and take it. All there is to it.
Hey, look at the serious in everyone's fucking eyes.
Yeah, look at the hunger,
baby.
baby.
Shit. You gotta feel it.
Hey, this is what we built, right? Together is what we built. It's in your heart now.
Together we can achieve more, boys,
Hey,
all right? Every practice, every sacrifice, it's worth it for this moment right here. Hey, fucking hard on 3, all right, boys? Pour it all out there. Hard on 3. 1, 2, 3. Hard!
At this point, we've beaten them before, but in prelim matches, and nothing to ever really take them out of the event. This is kind of like our chance to kind of even the score.
Game plan, push their shit in and kill them all. That's right. That's the game plan.
First point we go out there, we end up shooting Chad on break, and he ends up getting a major, but we had also lost quite a few guys on break, so they were actually, I think, a 3-on-2 or 4-on-2. We ended up conceding the point because we wanted that full duration major. So we go out there, we tied it up 1-1. Next point, they came out and they actually won that one, and we're down 2-1, but then we go on a hot streak.
Let's just think about first and second, baby.
Yeah, baby. Honestly, it's hard to.
Let's go, X! Let's go, X!
We blew the whole snake side off right away. We need to keep shooting the lanes we're shooting. Okay. We're on top of them. At some point, they're going to figure out that they're going to start pushing double bodies wide. As soon as they do that, we can go back to something normal. But for the time being, let's keep the guns inside where we're tearing them up.
I feel like this is like really where me and Paul clicked. I was able to coach a game and be completely confident in what I was doing, and Paul being able to analyze the game from the outside and come in and give me the little bits of information that helped, and that's where we really clicked.
Colt's gonna shoot back at Mishka, and then he's gonna cut up the center and to the right. So if they don't break out Texas or corner, Colt, all the way to the X. Don't fucking let them out the whole game.
It's a fight, let's go!
We wanted to knock Heat out, and it was more of the past. That's one thing about this team is we remember things in the past. We need to take care of business.
You all right, Josh? Peter, don't worry about that.
What do you do?
It's still a fight, let's go!
Yeah, right here. We can't give him a chance to come back at all.
That point where LJ dislocated his shoulder, I kind of saw a lot of focus, kind of slowly getting away from the guys. Now we make it 6-2, 1 point away from somewhere we've never been. You're right there. And like clockwork, they started coming back.
Do not look at the time. Do not look at the fucking score. Come out there.
This is the time we don't give up.
And let's get a point. That's all it is.
Don't get lazy.
I think it's almost a flaw, but you start thinking, oh, well, we just got to win 1 point out of the next 5 and we win, which is a terrible, terrible mindset. But I think human nature just automatically reverts to that. And so, we lose a point. It's like, that's okay. We'll go out there and win another one. Now it's 6-3. Oh, we lose another point. Now it's 6-4. No big deal. And we lose another point. Now it's 6-5. And it's like, holy shit, this is really going to happen, isn't it?
We're up 6-5. I took the corner off the break. I kind of landed wrong and bent my finger back, and I see a ref running over to me, and he's like, get in the box. And he told me I got shot running out there. I don't know what he saw, but it is what it is.
Who's got a major? Billy.
I started sweating it. I was like, oh my God, this cannot be another one, and we're gonna lose here. We just cannot do this.
Hey, we play to win.
We play to win, baby.
Hey, let's get the G off the break and get Billy out of the box.
Get the G off the break.
Hey, we can win these penalty points. It's just one body. We can do it. You shoot a guy, it's tied up.
Hey, they might know you're going to go there, so get your first few steps and be quick.
I believed that I was calling a play that we could win this. We had to slow them down on the snake side. So the play was to send Colt up the center and Archie just to the can and put both of those guns on their snake runner hard. They shot Colt, we shot Sam going first. They got an extra body, but we're mirrored.
I'm sitting there shooting my lane, trying to keep them trapped inside as well. Chad and I are mirrored up, and he ran right into my stream of paint. So we shot another guy. So now it's 3-on-3. And then Dave, our sideline coach, he calls that they're in the X. As soon as he called it, I backed up, took one shot at him, and I shot him twice in the face. So at that point, I was just like, hold up, let's lock it up. Don't do anything stupid. Billy comes out of the box alive. Scott makes a great move to go bunker out Fedorov, and then it left a 3-on-1 against Sergey.
Quiet.
Way to fight, boys. Way to fight, boys. Good job. We got one more after this. We got one more.
Ultimately, the way we all felt was that Heat was the team to beat. That was also a huge personal victory for the team and all the guys, I think. It certainly was for me.
Like we said, this one's just a stepping stone. The one that matters, the one that's going to bring us home, is the next one we play. All right, boys, bring it in. Let's go!
Hey, how about some fucking heart right there, boys? How about that, man? Digging deep, 4 on 5.
Hey,
Heart,
that's
man.
gumption, boys. That's gumption.
Hey, gumption on 3. 1, 2, 3. Gumption!
Hey, listen up. Hey, only once a fucking year, 2 teams have this one opportunity. It's right before us. It's time to see who the fucking better team is. And I know it's fucking us, because we're a family, alright, boys? Come on, boys. We've played together through all this shit. All this shit this year we've fucking gone through. Now we're fucking here. Come on. Let's step the fuck up and win this fucking game, alright, boys? Hey, drink it in, boys, motherfuckers. Let's go. Get it up right now. Right now. All heart, all family, dude. We are a fucking unit. Let's go, boys. Hey, give me a little BK.
Yeah, block.
They're shooting us off the break a lot. And I remember thinking, like, I got shot off the break the first 2 points in a row. And I remember walking off that second point and I was thinking, shit, they're gonna win this point. And then I took about 5 more steps and I said, it doesn't matter, we're gonna win.
We see a red flag fly, which is always like when you're on the field, it's like, what can you do to close this game as quick as possible? And so we end up going out there and winning that point. So we come out this next point and they're obviously camped out trying to burn this penalty. And so I kind of was playing back and forth both sides of the X and just kill somebody so that we could win that point and keep that penalty going. But I got clipped and that was a pretty bad death there.
Good over here. Hey, all we need is 1 point. 1 point, go. Remember, focus.
I felt like it didn't matter what was going to happen, we'd win. You know, it made us feel like even if they went up 6-0, we were going to come back and win. We don't get to the finals as much as other teams, but the last 5 times that we've gotten a professional final, we've won. So there's just that extra confidence there.
Let's go!
That might be a good time for a timeout. Okay. Are you sure you want to give them that momentum? Do you need it? I probably don't. Yeah.
I think I might have said, no, let's just hold off. And luckily, Impact ended up taking the timeout, so we kind of got that breather that we wanted, but with their timeout, they ended up beating us the next point, so they took the lead on us. And we used our timeout the very next point.
So we're down 3-4 coming off the timeout, and Dave was filling the corner, and I could have sworn I put something on him, and next thing I know, they throw a minor on Dave, and so now their snake side's blown, and I remember Greg tried to make a big move to kind of even out the field, and I ended up shooting him, and then they only had 1 guy left, and so everybody kind of put it on that guy, and now we're tied.
Right now, boys! Minute 10. Take the lead right now!
Off the break, I come up and I'm shooting for J-Rob, and I'm like, all right, that lane was good. I see him slide in. Grayson's next to me. He's like, did you get that kill? I was like, I don't know. All I see is a red flag go up. So after that, I kind of just blacked out. I was like, all right, I did my job, and then Archie just went off from there.
They don't want it like us. Water, please. Hey, somebody wipe Archie's back off. Wipe my back, quick.
He got that major. We were able to close the game out quick and preserve quite a bit of that major. Then we came back out there, and I think they shot a couple of us quick on break. We ended up down body, so we conceded that point to kind of preserve as much as we could of that major penalty.
We would die and we would be like, all right, my boys got this. And they started to push the envelope a little bit too much and started getting penalties for it. But that's something that we've been plagued with all year and had to battle with all year. So I don't really have too much sympathy for them because I think we led with the league with penalties all year.
Way to be, Cole Roberts.
Good job, boys. Way
to be, Archie Montemayor. Let's go. Let's go, Scott.
When we stepped out there for the last point, they just knew. It was in their heart. There was no stopping them. They were going to win World Cup.
Once that point, started, I'm like, okay, here we go. I got butterflies in my stomach. I see a guy get shot on impact, and I get excited. It's something you can't see, but I know they feel it, and I just feel like, they could feel that pit just start getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
baby. We won World Cup, baby.
Come here, boys. Thanks for all your help, yeah.
We won fantasy.
Good job.
This is what it was
Awesome
about.
job.
This is what it was about. This is what we always did. Yeah, touch. Yeah, touch.
Broke down and cried my eyes out. I mean, this has just been something that we've been working for so long, so hard for, and it's just like, man, are we ever going to get to that point? I mean, we did a complete, 180, from, bottom of the barrel and ended up being on top. To win the World Cup is just, it's worth it at the end, giving up all that time and money to be with family and friends, because, I mean, X Factor is my family. This win right here, I think it's awakened something really big in us, and I'm really excited for 2014, what we're going to bring.
Yo, it's like Billy, man. Like when I wake up, I want fucking Dunkin' Donuts.
I was a little threatened, I heard Billy loves to take his shirt off. Then I saw him take his shirt off.
Mr. I'm idolizing Stretch Armstrong. Really, I could strap water balloons to my arm and walk around too.
These fucking kids are all mooting me right now.
Fuck, I can't talk. So at the beginning of 2000, fuck me.
I don't understand why the league doesn't pump Dixon like he's like the Yao Ming of paintball.
I was trying to do this new move. It's called the Ghost Ride the Whip. I throw my gun in the air and do a 360 and then land it, But I'll perfect it by next season.
I'm telling you, they should change the name to the Dixon Yang Paintball League, and America would be out of debt.